guys, the book that I'm currently reading, I started literally like 2 weeks ago, and I don't even know why it's taken me this long to read, but this video is gonna be dedicated to finishing this book before tomorrow, because tomorrow is the last, or by tomorrow, because tomorrow is the last day of July and I need to finish this book this month. So I'm currently reading Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. For those who don't know, this is the second book in the Knock 'Em Out series. I would go so far as to say that I'm liking this book more than the first book, so I don't know why it's taking me so long. It is a thicker romance book. Like this, I think it has almost 600 pages. Yeah, it's almost 600 pages, which for a romance book, that's pretty long. But for those who don't know, each book in this series is about a different couple. They're all interconnected, so like you get every character in every book, but each book focuses on a different relationship. So the first one was Knox and Naomi. This one is Nash and Lena. And then I believe the third one is Lucien and Sloane, which I'm really excited for that one. I cannot wait for the tension in that book. Yeah, main goal for this video is to finish this before tomorrow, so we're gonna be binge reading. I actually am further than what that book says, because I've been reading on my Kindle and the physical copy because it's on Kindle Unlimited, and I read on the treadmill this morning. So I'm 76% of the way through, which is I almost said chapter 431. Can you imagine if this book had 431 chapters? I'm on page 431. And yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I feel like I've definitely read a lot more in the last few days. I feel like the book started out kind of slow for me, but I'm really enjoying the tension. I'm enjoying it a lot more than the first book. I think that's what I like. Also, Knox was just very annoying to me in the first book. He was very mature for his age, because for those who don't know, these people are in like their 40s, like late 30s, early 40s. And I just think that they were so annoying in the first book, or at least just Knox was. But I'm really liking Nash and Lena a little bit more. So I think at the end of this video, because like I said, tomorrow is the last day of July, so that's why I need to finish the book. But I think at the end of the video, so I'll probably film it tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to be doing my July reading wrap up in this video as well, because I did not read a lot of books this month. Like this is probably one of my worst months of the year. I think once I finish this book, it'll only be 4 books this month, which is not horrible. Like I've still read 4 books. And if you read 1 book a month, that's amazing. But for me, I've been doing pretty well at reading like 5, 6, 7 books a month so far this year. So 4 is a little bit low, but that's okay. But my point is, I'm not gonna make a full video, like a full reading wrap up video for just 4 books. So I'll probably just include that at the end of this video. But can y'all hear the birds outside? I have the door open because my dog's on the patio. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing, is dedicating today and tomorrow. Hopefully just today. I really want to finish it today. But we're just gonna be trying to finish this book, and then I'll give y'all a reading wrap up at the end. Hope that you guys enjoy it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. We are getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm gonna do a big giveaway once I get to that. So make sure to subscribe, like this video, and yeah, let's get into reading. I'm reading the physical book right now because my Kindle's about to die. So I'm about to, actually I have my charger right here, so I'm gonna plug that in. But chapter 40, here we go. I've read a few chapters since I last talked to y'all. I'm now on chapter 44. I think I've probably read like 30 or 40 pages. But another moment, not another moment, but like a moment just happened in this book that is one of the reasons I didn't like the first book as much. These people are, like I said, late 30s, mid 40s. And Nash just told Lena to leave his apartment and that he didn't want to be with her over something that is so, I don't want to say immature, because it does have to do with mental health in a way, but like, y'all can talk about this stuff, okay? Like, you have spent this much of the book saying how much you love her, you're in love with her, she's the best thing that's ever happened, and then you have a moment of weakness, literally one moment of weakness, and you're like, yeah, I can't do this, and you tell her to get out after you literally like had her move in with you. That's just annoying to me, and it's a little bit, I don't know, it doesn't change like the whole, like what I view of the whole book, but we made it so far without that happening in this book, and I really didn't think it was gonna happen. I guess you could call it, I don't know if it's like the miscommunication trope. I don't think it's that, but it's like a branch of the miscommunication trope, because I don't know, Nash just doesn't communicate what he's feeling, and like the trauma from his life, like his parents, the trauma that his parents have given him and stuff. And I'm just like, poor Lena. But Lena's also doing the same thing to Nash in a weird way, I guess. So now I don't know how I feel about that too, because they're both doing it to each other. But I don't know, what Nash did was just really annoying. But yeah, I have, I think, less than 100 pages left, so we're doing really well. Oh, I was just flipping through There's a bonus epilogue at the end of this. That's cool. Okay, well anyway, I have less than 100 pages. We're doing pretty good. I think I'm gonna take a break and eat, and then we're gonna get back into it. I don't know why I am literally so cold. It is over 100 degrees outside, but I'm just so cold in my apartment right now. But I ended up finishing Things We Hide from the Light last night. I'm really proud of myself because, like I said, I didn't know if I was going to finish it last night or this morning, but I did end up finishing it last night. I read like over 100 pages of this yesterday, but I finished it in bed last night, so that's why I didn't give y'all an update last night. Before I get into this, I think we're just going to go right into the July reading wrap up, and then obviously we'll get to this. Like, this is the last book I read in July, so this will be the last one I talk about. But okay, so I only read 4 books in July, which, like I said, not my best month. I think I read 4 books in February too, but besides that, I've been reading like 6, 7 a month. So one of my slower months, but that's okay. I did take a break at the beginning of this month. I think I went like a week without reading anything. I just was not in the mood. But once I did pick up my next book, I picked up How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. And this is actually funny, even funnier that I only read 4 books because this is a novella. So there's like only 100 something pages in this, but I read this book. Sorry if I'm like dying. I was just coughing my lungs up. I read this for a video which was finishing a series I'm in the middle of. So this is the last book technically in the Cruel Prince series. Now, the Cruel Prince trilogy is literally just a trilogy, but there is this one. And the cool thing about this is that it is like a graphic novel. So each page has like stuff to go along with what's happening and stuff, and I thought it was really cool. I honestly don't remember much about even what happened in this book. I know that it was kind of like Cardan's, like how Cardan, okay, now I'm getting really hot. I think it was like about Cardan's life growing up, and then we also saw a little bit of their life after how the last Cruel Prince book ended. But it was really cute. I really loved the graphics. I ended up rating this 3 stars. But the fact that I can't remember entirely what this book is about maybe means I should lower it. I don't know. It was a fun read. Don't remember much about it. I was honestly more into the graphics because the graphics were just absolutely beautiful in this. Like, I'm obsessed with the graphics. But yeah, just a little novella. Rated at 3 stars, but honestly, it could have been lowered to like a 2.5. The next book that I read was, I was going to say Kristen Hannah by The Great Alone. That makes no sense. The next book I read was The Great Alone by Kristen Hannah, and this book took me for a whirlwind. For those who know me and have known me in the last like 6 months, I've become obsessed with Kristen Hannah. This is the 3rd book I've read by her. Yeah, this is the 3rd book that I've read by her, and even though this is a story about a girl who grows up in Alaska. Her parents moved her to Alaska from Washington, I think, because the dad really wanted to be like off-grid, and he inherited a cabin from one of his friends that he fought in Vietnam with. And so they move up there, and the dad ends up just kind of going crazy and getting abusive and drinking a lot. And it's a really sad story about abuse and like being out in the wilderness, like alone, away from society, and how isolating that is. But also tells the story of women trying to survive a man like that. And the beginning and the middle was a little bit slow for me. I mentioned in the video that I read this in that I felt like the same day was being repeated over and over and over again. But once it wasn't doing that, it really started to pick up, and I really enjoyed the last, like, I don't know, 30% of this book. I did cry my eyes out. It was just so good. I rated this book 4 stars, which is the lowest I've rated a Kristen Hannah book. I think I rated The Four Winds like 4.5, and then The Nightingale was obviously like a 6-star read for me. But I would highly recommend this. It does touch on abuse a lot. So just keep that in mind if you're gonna read this. I know that can be triggering for some people, so just keep that in mind. But this was 4 stars. Absolutely loved this book. The next book that I read was Things We Never Got Over, which is the first book in the Knock 'Em Out series. This is the one that I don't have the physical copy of. It was not at Goodwill when I found this in the 3rd book, so I read that one completely on my Kindle, and I really liked this book. I mentioned earlier how each book is about like a different couple. So the first one, Things We Never Got Over, is about Knox and Naomi. So Naomi is this girl who ends up going to this town because her twin sister lives in this town, and she said she like needed help. So Naomi ends up going to this small town called Knockemout, Virginia, and she ends up just getting tangled up in the lives of everyone there, and she meets Knox, who is the grumpy. This is like a grumpy sunshine sort of trope in this book. The only reason I rated this 3.75 stars because I did enjoy it. I really did. But for them being in their 40s, they were very immature. Knox was not my favorite in MC. He really wasn't. Like, I found him very annoying at times. He was almost too grumpy for me, and it just made no sense to me sometimes, like how he reacted to certain things, and I just found that kind of annoying. So I rated this 3.75 stars. I would still recommend it. I obviously love this series, but they just were not, I feel like I didn't realize maybe how much I didn't, not how much I didn't like that book, but we'll get into it when I get into the next book. But overall, 3.75 stars. It was still really good. It was very, very, very spicy. This whole series is spicy, but this book was like, holy crap. One of the spiciest books I've ever read. But yeah, Grumpy Sunshine, small town romance, which I am not typically a small town romance. I also think that maybe that's why I didn't enjoy this one as much. I don't know. There were just a lot of things that kind of made it not my favorite book, but still recommend it. Then we get into what I was reading in this video, Things We Hide from the Light. I ended up rating this book 4 stars. I did like this one more than the first one. I think that Nash and Lena were a lot more mature about their relationship, and neither of them were as annoying to me, just to be straight up with y'all. Like, neither of them were as annoying as, well, I didn't find Naomi annoying in the first book, but Nash was not nearly as annoying as Knox, which they're brothers. I thought they were so much more mature, and I loved their relationship. I loved how slow Bernie, how much of a slow burn this one was. I feel like it was even better than the first book, and it really, I love the tension. I love the tension. And this one was still really, really spicy. I would say maybe not as spicy as the first book, but yeah, lots of spice. So if that's not your thing, I don't know if this series would be for you. But I did like this book a little bit more than the first one. I'm really, really excited to read the third one. I don't know what I'm doing, because when I was about to finish this book, I was like, okay, Reagan, you're going to take a break between reading this one and the third one, because sometimes when I read a full series back to back to back to back, I'm like, I get tired by the last few books, and then I feel like I don't rate them as highly than if I had waited to read them. So I was like, I'm not going to start reading the third one. Well, I literally finished this last night and then started reading the third one. So I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm really excited for the third one with Lucien and Sloane. I'm predicting that will be my favorite, but so far, first one, 3.75 stars. This one was 4 stars, and I guess we'll see what this next one is. But that's gonna be this whole video. I know this was not the best video. I have some stuff going on to where I just need to kind of pre-film some videos and just get stuff out. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, even though it was probably shorter and not as put together. But I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are not already. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media. I always have that linked down below. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.